Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Red Donkey Projections. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the hypothetical 2024 presidential election between current governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, and current vice president of the United States, Mike Pence. Before we get into this video, I want to take a look at our current friendly subwar against Blue Elephant politics. Right now, the subscriber difference is just 3. We went from 26 yesterday to now just 3. Thank you all so much for subscribing and supporting us. The deal we made with Blue Elephant Politics is the first channel to reach 100 wins the war. I'm Lucas. I have Eric here with me.
Hey guys, I'm back.
And I do want to point out one more thing. Please follow our brand new Twitter that we made a few days ago. We know that you support us on Instagram. Please support us on Twitter as well. With that being said, let's get right into the video. So, here it is. For this video, we will be using the projected 2024 electoral map. You can see some differences already. We have Texas gaining 3, Florida gaining 2, Pennsylvania losing 1, Ohio losing 1 actually. And yeah, there's a bunch of changes to the electoral map. Let's start by discussing the safe seats, or not really by discussing, but we'll just put them out. Washington, Oregon, California. We're going to talk about Nevada later. New Mexico, all these, not New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Delaware, Maine, all state, Maine second. Oh, and his home state of New York.
Of course, yeah.
So, just for a little bit of background, Andrew Cuomo currently is the governor of New York. He's currently handling the coronavirus, and his approval rating has been soaring like super high. 70% of Republicans actually do support the job that he's doing for the coronavirus, and we always see him in the news very frequently.
Yeah, it's actually known that in time of crises, politicians or leaders usually tend to gain more popularity and support of their efforts to try to make the crisis go away.
Absolutely. And I just want to say one more quick thing. This, the scenario that we're using, we're doing it as if the election was held today. So obviously states like Georgia and Texas are swinging more and more to the left, but we'll be considering this as if the election was done today. What am I missing? Oh, I missed a lot. All right. Oops.
We'll save Indiana for later, or
I think
because
because
Pence is from Indiana, so.
Mm-hmm. And I want to discuss Iowa. Iowa is very Republican now. Not very, but it swung more to the right. It used to be a swing state. Obama carried it both times he ran, actually. But in the 2016 election, Iowa voted more Republican than Texas, which is pretty surprising. So I don't know if we can classify this as a swing state anymore. And that's the same thing with Ohio, too. Ohio is also swinging more and more to the right. I don't think we can classify that any longer as a swing state.
Yeah, and these are according to today's expectations. So you never know. Maybe in 2020 something may happen.
You know what? I'll classify Montana as safe because, yes, they're also swinging a bit to the left more, but it's not enough. Alrighty. Let's get talking. Let's start with the likely seats. The first likely is Texas. Now, you go back 10 years, Texas has been extremely Republican. Now it's swinging more and more to the left, with the reason being it's right next to the border with Mexico. But if we're doing it in today's time, Texas is still very Republican. They have a Republican governor. Both senators are Republicans. And for that reason, it's going to be likely. Great. Eric will now be talking about Georgia.
All right, so Georgia, you would think, as we said in previous videos, would be towards the south, but it's still a likely possible red state. But we have seen like attempts to try to gain blue seats, like with the mayor, but she didn't win. But it
Oh,
was
I think you mean
definitely
governor. Governor.
governor. I'm
Yes.
sorry. She almost made it, and it was
Mm-hmm.
still a shock that she made it as far as she did.
Mm-hmm.
So although it's probably, in my opinion, not going to turn completely blue, it's definitely not likely red. So in my opinion, I would give it likely red. I mean,
Like
I'm sorry, lean or tilt red.
lean red. Okay. Yeah, I actually do agree with that. I don't think it's going to be likely, but I disagree with it being tilt. I think lean is the right way to go. It's, in my opinion, it's in between lean and likely. It's somewhere there, but I think it's going to go to the Republicans. But who knows what's going to happen these next few years?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk Pennsylvania. Andrew Cuomo is from New York, and he's got such a high approval rating there now. And Pennsylvania is right next to New York. And in my opinion, I think that he's going to get a lot of votes in Pennsylvania, with the reason being that they're right next to New York. And yes, it's upstate New York, but if the entire New York state is approving of him by such a high number, including Republicans, I think Pennsylvania is going to swing to the left. And I
Hmm.
think for that reason, I'm probably going to go with lean D.
Hmm. Well, if you're looking from the other perspective, I mean, this is just playing devil's advocate here. Donald Trump did win Pennsylvania, and Pence was or is his vice president.
Right,
So
because
maybe
West
with that
Pennsylvania.
name brand, yeah, and West Pennsylvania for that matter. I
Yes.
still agree with Tilt Blue, but just playing devil's advocate, there could be possibility of some votes for more than expected votes for Republican.
So yeah, I've circled it right here. Basically, what we're talking about is West Pennsylvania is a lot of the rural cities, rural voter, not cities, rural towns. Now, these cities tend to vote Republican. Now, on the East Coast side, we've got the big cities, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and basically, if you remember, 2016's Democratic Convention was actually held in Philadelphia. So this is much more Democratic.
Hmm.
So, thinking about what you said, I think you're correct. I am going to change that to tilt. I think tilt will be an appropriate classification for that.
Yep.
And yeah, that's what's going to happen to Pennsylvania. Let's move down south to North Carolina. North Carolina has been moving a bit to the right recently.
Mhm.
2008, Barack Obama did carry the state. And looking at the Senate race, it looks like there's a high chance that Tillis will be defeated by Cunningham, although that is Democratic. So, yes, it's on the East Coast. Yes, Cuomo's doing well. But looking at the past, I think North Carolina is probably going to be lean Republican.
Yeah, good call.
All right. Let's now head to, um,
Should we do Florida?
sure, let's go Florida. In Florida, it's also been kind of swinging to the right now. Now, both of its senators are Republicans, and the governor is Ron DeSantis, who's also a Republican. Now, taking that into account, Mike Pence and Donald Trump also won Florida in the 2016 election by a pretty comfortable 2%, 3% margin.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I think I'll put this one as lean Republican.
All right. Makes sense.
Oops, all right. Now let's talk the Rust Belt. Minnesota, I think Minnesota's pretty safe at this point for
Yeah.
any Democrat. Now, Wisconsin and Michigan. Well, if Cuomo's performing well right now, and these states are kind of on the East Coast, my assumption is he'll do pretty well in like these two states as well. For that reason, I think Michigan I would put as, I'd go lean. And the reason why it's not tilt is because Andrew Cuomo is doing such a good job in New York that I think he'll be able to carry some of the Rust Belt that Hillary Clinton failed to carry in 2016.
Yeah.
Now looking at Wisconsin. Now Wisconsin, it's a pure toss-up. Even between Biden and Trump, it's a pure toss-up. Pence and Cuomo, I think it's the same thing. We can't declare a winner here. It's going to be hard to tell. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. And what probably will help Pence a lot is how Trump won it. And that might give him a little boost. But at the same time, as you stated, Cuomo's super popular, but so is Pence because he's on the COVID-19 task force. So it's really hard to tell. And I agree with you. We should give that a toss-up.
Alrighty. And now we're going to take a look at Colorado. Now, Colorado used to be a swing state until recently when it started becoming more and more to the left. As a result, I do think it's going to go to the left again, and I think it's probably going to be either lean. I think likely. I think likely is a good characterization for Colorado.
All right.
Now, Arizona. Arizona seems to be in the 2016 election a pretty big toss-up.
Yeah.
However, I do think Arizona will go to the Republicans this time. It has not voted for a Democrat in such a long time, and it was pretty Republican before. John McCain held the seat. Why am I blanking? Oh, Jeff Flake also held it.
Yeah.
It's been pretty Republican, and for that reason, I'll be giving it lean. Now, Nevada. Nevada, in the last video between Trump and Biden, we put Nevada as a safe seat for the Democrats, and we listened to your feedback, and we realized that that was an incorrect characterization since it wasn't really that quote-unquote safe. It's not by that much of a lead that he's going to win, but I still think Cuomo will win it, with the reason being because he's a Democrat. This is Nevada. They haven't voted Democrat in a long time. I would also give this one likely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think Eric will now talk about New Hampshire.
So, New Hampshire, I think, in my opinion, is probably going to go to Cuomo if he would to run, because it went to Hillary in 2016, and New Hampshire is right next to New York, and based on Cuomo's popularity in that area especially, in my opinion, I think it's going to be a likely blue state.
Absolutely, I actually do agree with that as well. It is voted, even though it's a quote-unquote swing state, the last time it went back to a Republican was 2004 in George W. Bush's victory. And I don't think that's going to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Maine 1st Congressional District, if you don't know, Maine distributes their electoral votes by splitting it into their congressional districts. Maine 1st District went to Donald Trump in 2016 in a lean it went to Donald Trump in 2016. Now it's Pence running, who it's his running mate. And with that reason alone, I think it's going to the Republicans. And I think it is pretty Republican in a lean margin, though, because we do have to remember. Oops. Oh, no. All right. It's a lean margin because this is the East Coast, and most of New England is pretty Democratic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end of the video. It looks like Wisconsin is going to be the determiner for this election, and this was an indecisive result, like most of the episodes on our video on our channel. So if this were to be the case, then this would go to the House of Representatives and Congress. They would determine who the winner would be. And looking at it right now, actually, we can't look at it right now because the Congress is going to be different in 2024. Mm-hmm. Thank you all so much for watching this episode. If you like this content, please like, subscribe to our channel, and if you like this video, please hit the like button. Thank you, and we'll see you in our next episode.